station.
3, 2.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're reaching for the top, and we'll never fall below.
I do my hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feel? My hair talk, check my nails.
Productions.
Hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair talk, hair.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cheer Chatter Podcast. I'm your girl Q.
I'm Kay.
Isha.
Dog, it never fails. It never fails. I swear.
Ma'am.
Listen, I had to get the last bite in. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We understand.
Well, good evening, everybody. What's going on? How's everyone doing? Let's check in. I know Florida, we just had a little storm that just came through and wrecked shop in the Tampa, Central Florida area. How's everyone doing? How's everybody recovering? What's going on?
Milton
You say what?
Milton bought cousins, aka tornadoes.
Okay.
Yeah, like who told you to bring your bad cousins too?
I mean, they was bad.
They were ripping through stuff. Ripping through stuff. They did more damage than the hurricane looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Milton need to go on about his business. He don't never need to come back.
Milton is gone and done disintegrated and everything else. But
no, I'm saying, you know how sometimes the name re come back. They bring a name back. You know, it'd be years and years, decades from now.
I think the ones that like real good damage, they retire those names. Because I think like Katrina and Wilma have been retired.
Yeah, anything that had, I think it's a certain amount of damage that they have done. If it's a lot of damage, then they retire the name.
Milton earned his retirement because
he earned it.
Yeah.
The record show.
Hopefully everyone that was affected by Hurricane Milton is doing well. If you have no power, you got some damage. We hope, everything works out for you and your family. How y'all week was? I know, we was here last Sunday, but how was y'all week going? From yourselves, how's everything going?
I mean, for the most part, my week was pretty much relaxing because we went to work Monday and Tuesday, and then we're off Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday was just like I already got 2% of what Friday. That percentage chart that they give you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, I was on 2% Friday.
Okay, Ish, how was your week?
My week was kind of up and down because, as you all know, my son is at UCF now, so that is Orlando. And that's kind of where they were predicting the eye to go through. And it was supposed to, be really bad. There were areas that were flooded. Luckily, my son did not experience any of that, any effects of that, should I say. He had some pre-effects, not from Milton, because the person on the third floor, their washer broke and it leaked all the way through the apartment. So when I got here on yesterday morning, we opened the door and it's industrial fans all over his living room because they were taking care of that problem. But that was before Milton. He did not stay here for Milton. Shout out to UCF athletics or UCF football because they got on top of their stuff. Not only quick but well. He was able to leave after practice on Wednesday. And they provided those who were staying in town the ability to stay in a hotel or to stay on campus in a dorm. They sent them with non-perishables. They sent them with water. They even were giving them a place for their animals to stay because that was kind of a concern for a few of the boys. They had dogs. My child, being the person that he is, he was like, I don't want to be here at all. Like, I'm finna go, because he was considering coming to me. But when I told him it was like a 6.5 hour drive, they changed quickly. And he just did his normal 2.5 hour drive and went to my mama's house. Him and Bruno, they went to my mama's house. So I felt that was comforting to me to know that he was not here with that, because there were areas of the Orlando area that did flood very bad. Most people saw the stuff from Disney and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
but his apartment was fine. And then on Saturday, not Saturday, Friday, when I left Orlando, I left Atlanta, airport for over 6 hours
Why?
because Spirit had delays. And before y'all start carrying on about Spirit, I ain't never had no issue with Spirit until Friday. They apparently had some mechanical issues where
Mm.
they had to like a plane had to sit, they had to get in a new crew. Some of their flights were canceled. Mine was, lucky enough to not be canceled. However, it was delayed over 5 hours. So I was in the airport for over 6 hours. But I made it home safely or whatever. It was an
I take a
aggravating.
delay before anything. I would rather take a delay than something happening. So
Right. And it wasn't our flight that had the mechanical issues. It was like something much earlier
mhm.
that day, but it affected the rest of the day. So yeah, that's why I say my week was kind of up and down. I had some great days at work. It was just kind of up and down. Those were my downs, but my greats were great.
Okay. It was kind of chill week. I was supposed to have a work trip that was canceled, obviously because of the storm. But yeah, it was pretty chill week. I'd worked home majority of the week, so that was definitely that's what's up. And then last week was LSU's homecoming week, so it was my daughter's first homecoming, and yeah, we could pull out a big win against Ole Miss, and yeah, now I'm with you all.
It's weird that PWIs, and for those that don't know what a PWI is, it's a predominantly white institution, play big teams that they could possibly lose to on their homecoming. Where HBCUs, they gonna play the Bad News Bears so they can make sure they win on their homecoming. That is an interesting thing to me.
Well, Alabama State didn't play nobody they could beat on their homecoming.
This is true. Multiple years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It was just something that always catch my eye.
I think with HBCUs, I think sometimes they pick a school that's gonna bring the crowd as well, money wise.
Bring a crowd, period. So the alumni would come to the homecoming because they know they're playing a,
Correct.
a
Yeah,
worthy
I,
school.
I I guess that's what makes sense. I guess that does make sense because for most HBCUs, it don't matter who they playing. They say homecoming, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you do have some that don't have that alumni base that will come back for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess.
Okay. Well, let's get into our topic for today. So let's talk Cheer-tiquette. And I know y'all wondering what is
I
Cheer-tiquette?
know talk about us, talk about they always remixing words.
And will. So what is Cheer-tiquette? All right, Cheer-tiquette is the customary code of behavior and members of a cheer team. So what we did was we took the word cheer and etiquette and we created a whole word, Cheer-tiquette.
we
Don't
all
come for us.
You welcome.
Don't come for us. So let's talk Cheer-tiquette, ladies.
all right.
What are some codes? What are some customary codes when it comes to cheerleading?
So the positives.
The positives. Let's talk. Let's
Let's
talk
talk about the
positives.
positives first. I feel like a cheerleader should always be well groomed.
Okay.
Hair in place. You can have a messy ponytail, but still hair in place. Um, oh, my child loud. I'm at my child house for the week. That's a up for the week. I forgot to tell y'all that. I'm on fall break, so
Just
I'm
keep
here.
yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, y'all continue. I'm a pause. I gotta go tell him to shut up.
So
So well groomed. What else are some positives
um
with Cheer-tiquette?
I always feel like a present like I love cheer like the ponytail look for cheerleaders, so to speak. But that's not always the case these days because I know that girls rock different hairstyles. But I'm gonna stay with
Hair in place,
parent plays.
not too
Not
long.
you're still able to do what you need to do as a cheerleader without putting anybody at risk. Um, the long nails are something that I'm starting to see more often now, but nails being presentable, uh, clean uniform.
Oh, I can't stand dirty shoes.
But that's a thing. That seems to be a thing these days,
I
though.
don't care what kind of thing it is. I can't stand dirty shoes. Clean
Or
your shoes. Clean your shoes.
yeah. Um, the team looks as one, very well put together.
Uniform.
Um, I'm trying to think.
The crowd you keep. The type of people you're hanging around on a daily basis.
I
So
realize a lot of
But
cheerleaders
it's
don't.
not, you're not only a reflection of yourself and your family, but you're a reflection of the program and a reflection of the coach, reflection of your teammates, reflection of the school. You are seen to be an ambassador for the school. So if your grades are not up to par, if you are constantly getting in trouble, if you're constantly in the middle of it, always in the midst of some type of drama or something negative on the campus, that is not good cheer ticket at all.
being promiscuous.
Promiscuity, yes.
Um, Now what you do behind closed doors, if don't nobody know about it, that's don't nobody know about it. But when it starts to get out, that's not church kit. Um, and when you're in uniform and you're with the team, um, there is there is room for rivalry. There is room for that. And as a cheerleader, you're supposed to be rooting on the rivalry. However, it has to be done with class and prestige. So,
Mm.
for instance, if you live in South Florida, mainly Broward County, you know that this weekend coming up is Soul Bowl,
So,
which is kind of what made us think about this topic for today. You got Dillard versus Ely. Two historical programs, not programs, but two historical schools in Broward County, the first two black schools in Broward County. The just a little history. If you lived in the north part of Broward County when there these only two schools were there, you went to Ely. If you were in the southern part of Broward County, you went to Dillard. I know Dillard's not technically in the southern part of Broward County, but that's where you went.
Mhm.
Um, and those were the only two places you could go. So the people that like to cheer for the Flying L's, that school was there. We could not go there as black people.
mhm.
We could only go to Dillard and Ely. So that's why both schools are so rich in tradition because that was the only place we could go for a very long time.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, one had a lot to do with the other and its growth and its prestige and where it got to. However, it's always been a rivalry because we were the only two black schools. When we play football, basketball, run track, cheer competition,
Sports in general.
it could be badminton. Right
Check,
now, huh?
checkers,
Right,
connect, connect four,
the,
spades,
the
kickball,
chorus
chorus,
band.
It
band.
don't.
Right now, it's a t-shirt battle. We also had the tailgate battle, the homecoming tailgate battle. Like any little thing that
Mhm.
we can have a battle about, it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
And because, like Q said, cheerleaders are the ambassadors of the school,
Absolutely.
cheerleaders get involved in that heavily. And it's a great thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a great
Yes,
thing because we're pushing the spirit of our own schools, and that's what cheerleaders are for. We're to
yeah,
cheer and root for our schools and push whatever we trying to push out there for our school. So, in these friendly rivalries and these battles that sometimes when on the outside it don't be as friendly with the cheerleaders, we have to remember that we always have to use Cheer-tiquette.
Yeah.
So yeah, we gonna talk trash. We gonna say y'all sorry. We gonna say we might talk about your academics. Um, we gonna do all of that, but it's a way to do it because like, okay, so I graduated in 2003, and there is a dude. I can't even think of his name right now. I can see his face clear as day, but I can't think of his name right now. We went to FAM together, and he was in one of my classes my freshman year at FAM. Oh, he's so loud. Um, I wish I had noise cancellation on my laptop. Anyway, I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, he gave me very much Jackson 5 Michael Jackson.
I'll quit.
And when he would go to the free throw, he was a great basketball player for Ely. Great basketball player. He ended up being a police officer in I think the Pompano area.
Mhm.
But when he would go to the free throw line, it was men said Michael Jackson, men said.
You had names for everybody.
Oh, I did. But we would mess with Ely boys even more because even though we're rivalries, we all knew each other
Mm-hmm.
outside of school. And what it may look like to the outsiders that we being totally disrespectful, we know these people. We know these people. So Cheer-tiquette is also to be viewed on the outside looking in. Like sometimes y'all on the outside need to mind y'all business because we know exactly what we're doing. But you also can't be vulgar. We can't be vulgar. We can't be too low hitting. Like, for instance, there are bad things that happen at both schools where
Mhm.
some people were severely harmed. You don't want to talk about those.
No.
You don't want to talk about those.
There's definitely some boundaries that should
Yeah.
not be crossed, no matter what school you attended, what school you attend. There's certain bad things you just do not cross at all. It's kind of like as soon as you see it, both sides like, hey, that's you went too
You
far.
did too much.
You
It's
did
an
too
inside
much.
thing, though. It really is. You have to had attended both schools in order to understand where the boundaries are. Because you just got some people that just don't care about boundaries and just take it for what it is and go from there.
So we just talked about Dylan and Ely and gave a little history on why we're rivals. Any other, because like before I go into that, when I cheered, and this could possibly not be a thing anymore because one of the programs kind of was on the falling off end, where cheer hasn't been a rivalry as much. But when I cheered, when I say the rivalry was up and stuck between the cheerleaders,
Mm-hmm.
up and stuck. So, are there any cheer rivalries on the high school level? We're not talking about the part today. On the high school level, that we feel like we could mention.
Yeah. So let me put that on the banner. Let me add that.
Hmm.
Who
I
is
don't know. I haven't.
yeah.
Now, truthfully speaking, I haven't really seen any recently. Um, does that include competition, so to speak? Or we just talking about football and basketball season?
Any,
Period.
any cheer thing.
Like when you
Or
get
have you
amped
ever,
up.
right? Like we got to see these two. For a long time, it was Dillard and Piper. For a
Was
long time, it was Dillard and Piper.
was that even really up? Never mind. Go ahead.
No, it was a rivalry. It was. I don't know if the cheerleaders really viewed it as a rivalry, but the fans viewed it as a rivalry because they were always comparing the two. Um, I could say last year I felt like it was Dillard and West Broward.
Why we made the same face at the same time? Cute. I quit.
It's underscore EJ 1026 says not to us, to them it was.
I wholeheartedly agree.
So
But
okay,
that's the
so
thing. As
And
fans,
sometimes rivalries do be one sided.
it really
it do, but also too, it's the difference between the teams probably don't see it as a rivalry, but the fans do see
but
it
I
as a
don't even
rivalry.
okay, so let me say I won't necessarily say this. I don't even think it was I think it was more so one sided on the fans as well because they were the one pulling people into it. No one had ever mentioned them, to be completely honest.
I mean, it's
I'm not shading nobody, but I'm just saying
I mean, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
it was more so
But
one side.
okay, so like for instance, I was just talking to my son last night, and we were watching the Ohio State and Oregon game, and I was like, this might be becoming a rivalry because when they play, it be big.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of how they start because the first time when Oregon and Ohio State played, everybody was like, "Oh, Ohio State going dog walk Oregon," and Oregon actually won that game at
Mhm.
Ohio State. And now it has turned into something where people actually want to go watch. Just so happened both of them are really good right now. One was number 2 and one was number 3, but are we now having a battle of the O's? So I feel like in cheer, it could possibly be the same thing. So even though that was one sided,
Mhm.
for the most part, one program has a legacy of being a good team, and the other one was trying to build one. And they would win on one level, but not on the next level. So I think it was trying to build,
Hmm.
but never really came into fruition.
Correct. I gotta stop reading these comments while we talking. 'Cause
But did y'all really want to watch?
go ahead. I gotta start reading these comments. Baby, that is going in.
Well, Lonnie Hound, sorry, said it's hard in my area due to change of coaches. I just tell my team be ready any game.
Mm.
She
And
said frequent changes a change of coaches.
that's understandable.
Yes, they do go through a lot of coaches in Miami. Because, Lonnie, you from Miami, right? I want to say you were.
Ah!
I'm going to do the same thing to that comment.
Anywho, oh, but you know what's crazy? I say that for a conversation. Um, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I get what I think that you're right. Each is something that can start off from being something big and then end up becoming a rival based on um how well both of the teams are doing. So being that, Ohio State and Oregon were 2 and 3, it was projected to be a big game, being that both of them were good at the same time. That was there a point where Ohio State dominated Oregon more than
Well, that game came down to a 1 point game. It really came down to the last minute. However, I was getting it back to, oh my God, my child. Okay, so getting it back into cheer.
mm-hmm.
Um like when they weren't on the same level, nobody really thought of it as a rivalry. But when the lesser team ended up beating the better team, now it built like suspense the next time they end up playing each other. The next time they played each other was now, and they're 2 and 3. They were 2 and 3.
So
Ohio State lost again.
gotcha.
And now I think this is becoming, like I said, I think this is becoming a rivalry. So relating it back to cheer with, since we I'm just gonna start cutting corners. With Dillon and Stranahan. I'm not Stranahan. Why did I say Stranahan? With Dillon and Piper. Piper was the lesser team, and the outside world was trying to make them
It's relevant.
The
comparable
fans.
to a traditional
Mhm.
legacy in a Dillard team. And they just weren't there. We're talking about here and here. Now, was Piper making progression? Yes,
Absolutely.
they were.
I never did not.
They were making progression. So it kind of got the people around the outside of the sport, keyword outside, to kind of galvanize around the idea that this is something to actually be hyped about. which creates a rivalry to the outside world, but
Correct.
not necessarily on the inside world. Now, if they would have continued to progress, because I felt like Ronnie was finally starting to make it click as far as where he was going with his team
Mm-hmm.
and going in the direction of getting better and doing it as it should be on a high school level. But of course, he had career, not necessarily career changes, but he had advancement in his career where he had to let it go.
No, he didn't.
Huh?
No, he didn't. But
All right, table that conversation, throw that out the window, recant everything that I said. But I thought he became an assistant principal, and that's why he had to let it go. So I could be wrong. But with that, it kind of stopped the progression in that team. And then it's a coach change and they go back down to the bottom. So what I feel like is with the help of the outside world, it was creating an outer rivalry, not necessarily a inner rivalry.
And I
so
think that's where it bases off of. It bases off of the
Right.
fans because the fans want to see, the best teams on the mat. They don't want to just see any. They just want to see the best teams on the mat go head to head, and may the best performance, may the best team win. So the rivalry is created. It's created and it's pumped by the fans because they want to see the best out there. So if
Right.
those two teams are performing at their higher level and the fans are wanting to see more of it, it's going to create, and maybe we should do a show on how to be a respectful fan, you know what I'm saying, in cheerleading, because sometimes things
that
can
could be in Cheer-tiquette.
true.
That's a form of Cheer-tiquette
That
because
is.
sometimes fans actually bring more drama to the situation than anybody else. You
And,
could
and we've talked about that on a previous episode, maybe like
stir
a
up
few
mess
weeks
and
ago.
um it becomes a factor because they begin to personally attack or personally bring the cheerleaders into it, and that's not cool either.
You should have been on Facebook or YouTube so we could have pinned that comment. Cheer-tiquette is how you win and how you lose as well.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Because
We've seen teams not people not show up to to the award
yeah,
ceremony.
we've
We've
people
seen
who
people like really be sourpuss in the award ceremony.
they attack girls
Um,
literally.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me. And then it's like, if you have some parents that do the same thing, that's just beyond me. At the end of the day, we teach these kids how to win or lose with grace. They watch us and how we carry ourselves. So if we carry ourselves in an inappropriate way, what do you think they're going to do? They're watching everything in which we do. It's not okay for them to act like that or make the girls feel like it's okay to act like that.
Yeah, because
oh,
cheerleading is
something
not a violent
else.
sport.
It's not.
It's not a violent sport. So it's
It's-
kind of like keep it cute, baby. I mean, you can feel away, but just keep it cute.
That's it.
And I'm going back to football. Y'all know my Saturdays be football, so I'm making another football reference. In that or Ohio State Oregon game, there was a player from Oregon that was ejected from the game because he spit on a player from
Yeah.
Ohio State. And
That is
I'm also in ladies who love football group on Facebook, and it was a conversation about it. And I feel like as coaches, Cheer-tiquette is something that has to be taught.
correct.
And going back to that situation, like you say, they look at us, but Ernest just made a comment, no tears until the buzz. If you've never told your team that, they don't know to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you never tell your team what they should or should not be doing,
Absolutely.
they don't know how to act and respond. But that's also when people have never won, they don't know how to win. Or if they
Yeah.
never lost, they don't know how to lose. But when you've done both, now you can teach your team how to do both and hold people accountable for their bad actions. Holding people accountable, especially at this tender age,
Mm-hmm.
is how you create great adults.
And
Absolutely.
it builds character. It definitely
Yes.
builds character when you are able to win respectfully and lose respectfully. And when I say lose respectfully is, you know what, we ain't win this one, but there are other opportunities or other times that we can, you know what I'm saying? This should be a lesson for us to do what? Step it up. You know,
And
or what they,
we're not even just talking about winning and losing. We're talking about Cheer-tiquette as a whole.
yeah,
Correct.
When that girl show up to competition and her shoes dirty,
yeah.
you need to go clean your shoes or you're not hitting my mat. Or I said we getting high ponytail, you came in a low ponytail. I said we don't have color. We don't have unnatural colors. You're not on my sideline.
And your plants is
Um,
dragging on the floor like a veil.
Okay.
That's a safety
you're on the
issue.
sideline. I'm not telling you got to take it out, but you can't chill.
Being that we are talking about that type of situation, I wanna go to this question, because although that we say these types of things, you have a lot of parents who feel as though you cannot stop their child from doing something in which they paid for, just because you don't like what their hair looks like, you don't like what they have on, or they're not looking to your particular standard. How do we address that issue? Because some parents can be a problem with that as well. Some of the behaviors in which some of these children have come from home.
This is somebody said exactly what I was about to say. When we cheered, we had a contract. We had our rules and regulations spelled out. And as coaches, you stand on it. You don't let Tanya get away with it because Tanya is your best flyer. And you don't know what you're gonna do without Tanya. And then when Sasha do it, now you want to hold her accountable because Sasha mama gonna come. Well, look at Tanya. Tanya was just like this last week. So no, you're not benching my baby because you ain't bench Tanya. You gotta stand on it every single time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to stand, you have to print your rules and regulations. And I know the rules and regulations now compared to when we were in high school would be so much longer. We had 2 pages, they might need 10 now. However, you have to add the things in that you just absolutely cannot accept when we're talking about Cheer-tiquette. Because our rules and regulations are definitely based on Cheer-tiquette. So if you have all these things that are no's for you, you need to make sure you spell that out. You need to make sure those cheerleaders sign it and their parents sign it, and you make sure you give a copy to your admin and your athletic director so that they can see what it is and what it ain't. So when they try to go over your head, it's already there. These are the things that I said that I wasn't gonna deal with. Now I'm holding them accountable. They not on my team, but they can't do what I need them to do today. If it's a game day, they not going on my sideline. If it's a competition, they not hitting my mat. We just gonna market this competition.
Yep.
I agree.
And you have to stand on that, or it's not just gonna be a problem this year, because a lot of times if they made your team this year, they're probably gonna make your team next year. So it's gonna be a problem this year, next year, and the year after, and even once they gone, because the cheerleaders after them gonna see as a pattern.
They said it one band, one sound, and that does not go just for the coaches having to, implement and execute these rules and bylaws and everything. The cheerleaders themselves have to hold themselves and each other accountable, and that's where you are building leaders as well as you are not. You're also building character. Whatever you sign and whatever you agree to, everybody need to be held accountable. So I'm going to hold myself as well as I'm going to hold my teammate accountable, because if you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's going to hurt the entire team.
Absolutely. And you got to have other coaches that's going to hold you as the head coach or the assistant coach accountable, because sometimes we do get soft on our favorites, because we all got favorites. But your assistant's got to say, nope, that ain't fair. Nope, you can't do that. And people that's going to stand behind you when you do go talk to your admin and your athletic director and these parents, because Ernie said it best. We got to hold girls and the parents accountable. And something that Lonnie said in her contract, she had to add that this is a dictatorship, and it absolutely is.
Absolutely.
These are my rules. You don't follow them, you don't get to join. Bye. You ain't no parent.
And hey, listen, I know when my daughter cheer and she got in trouble and she had to sit out 4 games. Did I like it? Not one bit. But
Right.
hey, a rule was broken. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? A rule was broken, and she had to take the consequence. At the end of the day, she had to take the consequence. And at the end of the day, when you are as a parent, you sign these contracts, you are pretty much saying that you agree to these rules,
That's
and
like
you're going to also, hold your own child accountable for following those rules. So that's what you have to do. You don't
Whether
have to
you
like
read it
it,
or
but
not, you signed it.
you're right.
that's what it is right there. Because at the end of the day, they come barking and not realizing that's your fault. You didn't read it. You
Yeah,
signed it.
I ain't got that. And that's like the school's conduct, the code of conduct.
Absolutely.
Parents come in screaming, and it's even in college, and the parents don't have to sign anything when the students go to college, but the students are not reading things that they're signing. And then when they are in trouble, the first thing is, oh, I never signed anything. Yes, you did.
You did.
Absolutely.
You
So
did.
let this be a rule, people. Any students who are watching or parents who are watching, read the fine print, because you don't know what it is that you are signing off, and it could be something that you may not agree with. It may be something that you may not be aware of, but you need to read before you sign, because God knows you sign something and you signing your life away. What are you gonna do then? You're gonna take it to court and be like, oh, I didn't know. You should have read it.
Mhm. Yep.
Absolutely. And sometimes, if you have an issue with a contract, you can always talk to the coach and say, hey, I don't agree with this because.
Yeah, it
Or,
may
hey,
be
coach, I see that
negotiable.
this is a thing that you said no to. Um, can you explain why?
Yeah.
Because
What?
also parents don't always understand the situation with the hair and the nails, especially if they didn't cheer themselves. Because you have a lot of parents that never participated in the sport.
Hmm.
Um, or forget like the hair and the nail, forget the safety things, but like the etiquette itself. Where they have to be at a certain time, what they have to do, and how they have to be around campus or in the community or on social media. Reverting back to something that have nothing to do with cheer, Miss Tracy, who's over the G Girls, on her show, she has a strict thing about social media.
Absolutely.
Her cousin was kicked off the team because of something she did on social media.
Absolutely.
Cousin, but it was in her contract. So sometimes we put things like that in there to save the face of the program,
The brand.
or the school. So it may not seem like it's okay because you don't understand it, parents, but all it takes is to ask a question. And I'm sure the coaches wouldn't be like, oh, because I said so. They'll be like, hey, because these are things that we experienced in the past, or we've seen other teams experience in the past. And that's not something we want to add to our culture of this
But
team.
social media is becoming a big contract thing as well, because you've seen some athletes lose their scholarship behind stuff that they put on social media. So social media is definitely something that is becoming more and more of a problem as far as athletes are concerned, because um a lot of them are losing it all, and a lot of them feel like it could never happen to them until they see it happen to somebody else close to them. But it's definitely Cheer-tiquette as far as what you put on your social media and how you carry yourself on your social media page.
This is the reflection of the program. It is a reflection of your teammates. What you do, it actually falls on your teammates as well. So a
Birds of
lot
a feather.
Block
You
the hip.
said, yep. So cheerleaders have to understand what you put out in the atmosphere. It's not only going to affect you, but it's going to actually affect your teammates as well. Because, like he said, birds of a feather flock together. Although it's not always true, it is something that is always mentioned or brought up when it comes to if one girl is out there doing something that is, inappropriate, or that could, is a negative influence or whatever, it's going to fall on the entire program. And that's how you lose sponsorships. That's how you lose support. That's how you lose all types of opportunities because of things that you post on social media. So if you have to think really hard before you post it,
Don't do it.
10 times out of 10, you shouldn't be posting it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And that includes taking pictures in your swimsuits in provocative poses. The middle finger.
I still don't understand.
No, taking pictures with a whole bunch of money like that, there is bringing attention, negative attention to you, because you don't know who's watching and who may be gunning for you because they see you had a whole bunch of money. And next thing you know what I'm saying, somebody pull up on you, and then guess what? You don't got robbed, or something that's much worse can happen to you. So there are things.
Usually, if you're on a team, you're with a teammate, so it may not happen to you.
It may happen to
your teammate.
Yep. So it's very important that and maybe that's something we can have a conversation about, another episode about social media etiquette when it comes to, presenting yourself on social media, especially if you are presenting yourself with that team name, team uniform, team logo, whatever, anything to do with the team, anything you have to do with that brand negatively affects the brand. It negatively affects it. So it's very important that you think before you post things. And that could be, inappropriate lyrics to songs. It could be cussing.
That's not
one thing that I have experienced working at a school. When I was coaching at American Heritage, we had gear galore. And a lot of times after practice, we would go stop and eat together because we were a very close coaching staff. But if we was going to drink, we either had to put a jacket over that shirt or we had to take it completely off.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's something that coaches can add into their contracts, talking about Cheer-tiquette. If you do something inappropriate, first of all, it should be things that are ironed out in general, but definitely if you have on our team logo, it's a worse consequence. Like, these are the things that you cannot do with our logo on. These are the things that you cannot do with our uniform, even if it's a t-shirt, a hat, a bow, some socks. You can't do that.
And this is in and out of season.
Yep.
Both in and out of season, because it's not good. It's not a good look for the program, not a good look for the brand. And these are things that you have to start thinking about, even when you are transitioning to, whether you're going to go into higher education or whether you're going to go into the workforce. All of these things can fall back on you in any way, shape, or form. Things that you've done 2-3 years ago when you was 13, 14 years old that is still posted on your social media page can actually come back and haunt you. Look at the celebrities. You know what I'm saying? They posted things on Twitter and Instagram and stuff years ago that's coming back to haunt them now.
It always
that negatively affects their pockets, their bottom line. So,
and when you're on a team, it's easier to find you.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to find you.
Especially if
all they got to do is connect you to that team, start looking through it. It's so much easier to find.
And people call the school to say, hey, I was at an event and I saw a group of girls from XYC's cheer team. They were out there fighting, cussing. It was a mess. And who you think gonna get that phone call next? Their coach. And the administrator might say, hey, this is not a good look. They need to be gone. It could be a whole
whether they know who if it was specific people on the team or if it was the whole team. Somebody got to go.
Yeah. The administrator can come down and say, hey, listen, we don't need that negativity. They got to go. You have to dismiss them from your program. It is what it is. So not only are you an ambassador in the school, but you're also an ambassador for the school in the community.
But I was going to say a school that shall remain nameless had a bunch of incidents on campus amongst their team. And then the whole program got dismantled for the year in general. So it does happen.
And that can actually jeopardize the program's growth in progress. So if the program is actually doing well and if they're not performing, you have young ladies who are cheering on the park level, who's cheering in middle school, who is eyeballing different high schools to cheer for. And if your program is not doing what it needs to be doing, it hurts recruiting. It hurts you bringing on talented girls and talented young men to come in and join your program because of things that the previous teams have done to jeopardize the growth of the program. So these are things that young ladies and young men have to think about when they are doing stuff, whether it's on social media, whether it's done, because this generation and this age, they want to record everything.
Everything. And
They want
even when
to
you
record
don't think you recording, somebody behind you recording.
somebody's, because it's being recorded at different angles.
And
So
guess
if
what?
you
Sometimes it ain't even the people that's participating or watching. Sometimes somebody will go look at a camera
yep,
and be recording from a camera, security camera, and it get posted. It's always somebody watching. And just like Ernest said, it's a brand. It
yep,
is a brand that you
That
have to hold high.
that was part of the reason why they got rid of phones during school hours to begin with, because every time you turned around, somebody was taking out a phone and recording something or
that's what it
dropping
is.
something inappropriate. You do not
I
have
mean, to
to
go off to piggyback off of that though, one of the things that we talked about at my school, obviously we know that people record, but in a situation of danger, you got GPS, you have people trying to call in and out.
Mhm.
So it becomes more of a dangerous situation than just the I guess you could say the leaking or posting of unnecessary behaviors.
But the unnecessary behaviors always dominate everything else.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Because literally speaking, I got so sick and tired of everything airdropping.
Ooh, the Jesus Christ.
Listen,
That's why mine say contacts only.
I had to put mine on that too, and that's when we banned them at a school that I worked at prior to me moving
Never forget.
because of the airdrops.
Yeah.
And my airdrop wasn't named, so I was getting the airdrops as well. And I was like, as an adult, I'm not supposed to see this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, as a child, you ain't supposed to be doing it.
And that's
This is true.
You get
But
what I'm
as an
saying? Like
adult,
they
I
don't know
should
what
not be
kid
seeing these
is
things from
child
these
pornography
children.
is.
they
Like,
record every single thing. Every single thing.
and
Literally,
it's like, can you go somewhere without location, like adding location to what it is that you're doing? Like, if you got ops, they know where you at.
all the time. And that's the part me, because you don't even, like you necessarily said earlier, sometimes you don't even have, you can record something and you'll share it with somebody and then they'll end up posting it for you even though you didn't want to post it yourself. You also put yourself in compromising positions by even sharing it with somebody else.
Circling back to Cheer-tiquette, when I said about the promiscuity, this can be a major thing with that, with the cameras. And sometimes you be doing the things that you're doing and don't know you being recorded.
Wait,
So
telling my life.
a person on a cheer team, you got to watch who and where you doing what you doing.
Yep.
You got to watch who you do and where you doing.
I in my profession,
NCAA 25, baby.
in my profession, that is the part of that I hate the most about my job. I absolutely hate it. And it is the most uncomfortable part of my job. But I don't know, when did we get to a point to not caring about ourselves enough to want to record that stuff.
But now, because I think we have a lot of parents that aren't parenting. We have a lot of parents that are friends. But this is where we get into a conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago about the type of coach you want to have for your program. Because I want to say it was Lonnie who said it earlier that coaches are second parents.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches have to make these people on their team feel confident enough to not have to do these things. Understand the backlashes of what you will get for doing these things, not just on this team, but who you are as a human being. But this is like, as a coach, you are a parent as well. So if the parents ain't parenting and you got somebody on your team, you are now a parent, whether you gave birth to a child or not. You are now a parent. So some, like I said earlier, Cheer-tiquette and who these little human beings are turning out to be lies into your hands as well. You ain't gonna save them all, but you gotta save some of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because if you were as a coach, you are an influence, and we talk about our coaches from high school all the time,
Oh,
how much of an influence that they've made on us, even as adults. Things that we remember them saying, and things of just memories of them. Period. We remember a lot of things that we have taken over into our adulthood. So you are, as a coach, you are not just a coach, but you're also a guidance. You are a guide with these young people. You are a mentor to these young people. Some of them you are parenting, you are mothering or fathering them, you are an auntie, uncle, you are somebody of influence when it comes to these young people. So you have to keep that in mind whenever you are taking on a role of being a coach. It's way bigger than you just guiding them on the mat. You're also guiding them in life as well. So
absolutely.
installing these life skills into them is very, very important when you are coaching and mentoring them.
Yeah, they learn a lot from you. They watch, like literally speaking. I say this all the time, and I
Yeah.
say this to teachers as well. Kids watch how you act and what you do.
Yeah. It's EJ 1026 says they are always watching and listening, even when you don't think they are.
Absolutely. Because I will
And
tell you,
they nosy. They so
they
nosy.
care no-
They so nosy.
And listen, it'd be
But
funny how we
it
can
ain't
actually
nosy
emulate
in a
them.
bad way. It's like they're just inquisitive.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, my
And
sister,
it's a form of admiration.
Yeah, it is. It is. They literally inherit everything that you do at all times. They always in your business, in your back pocket. They want to know who you dating, why you dating them. They want
Mhm.
to know what you ate for lunch, why you ain't bring them some.
all the
They
time,
want to know what
Y'all see
time
what I just
you
did?
meeting at the school, even though you told them the time you meeting at the school.
Miss Jackson.
Like, they got to know everything. If they could ask you what drawers you got on today, they would ask.
You see what I just
But
did?
but guess what? Right, right. Because that was definitely Mary Jackson. But the thing about it is, they're asking these questions. And then when you see them in about 10 years, 9 times out of 10, they're doing exactly what you were doing.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Okay, so
And
funny
the
story.
fact that he said Asia,
Yeah.
it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
It is funny that you mentioned 10 years later because I just so happened to be in Five and Below one day, and I have not done my elementary internship since 2012, 12 years ago. And I got stopped in Five and Below, and this young man stopped me, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're Miss Butler." I said, "Well, yeah, I am." And he goes, "Oh my God, I had you when I was in the fifth grade, and I still remember you." And I said, "Oh, that's so sweet." But it just goes back to what you say. They watch everything that you do, and you leave whatever you do or how you make them feel leaves an impressionable um, mindset to them, and they always remember the people who uh
You made an impact.
yeah, basically. And it's a very rewarding feeling, so to speak. But they definitely watch everything that you do. Definitely. And sometimes they have more respect for you as a coach than they do they have for their parents.
and
Yeah.
sometimes they come to you about things more as their coach than
Correct.
they feel comfortable going to their parents about. And that's another reason why you have to be on your best behavior and at your best when you take those jobs. Because sometimes the stuff you get hit with,
Oh,
the questions you get asked, the advice that they need, sometimes you gotta go drink a bottle because these kids really be going through it
Mhm.
sometimes, and they really need somebody to be there for them. And that's why they join your team, and that's why they go so hard about being a part of that program, because they saw you, they saw what you provided in that team, or what being a teammate looked like on the outside, and they wanted to be a part of that so bad, and now they need you.
Now I want to bring this up because I saw on Tracy's show where the girls had to do sit down interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
She
you
did
can
it.
I,
they had to do, and they had to
She
dress up
did it.
in business casual clothes, and they had to go and sit and they had to answer tough questions. And this is where, like I said, it builds character, but also you're preparing them for, this is a life skill that they're being prepared for, because
absolutely.
when it gets to a point they have to go to they have to get a job, or sit for opportunities where they have to be interviewed for that. Positive impressions are so important. Cynthia Holmes said,
Hey, Cosin. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
critical, critical, and coaches. Again, we know they're watching. They might not let you know that they're here. They hear everything and they're watching, but they're watching. And
Listen,
again,
Lonnie say they coaches, therapists, psychiatrists,
all that.
organ donors, bus drivers. Um,
Organ donors. I wish you on the butt. Trans.
listen,
Heaven.
you become everything as a coach. Every single thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it's important, we as coaches, you definitely are a very important part of the matriculation of a child, whether you have touched them from the elementary age to the middle school age to the high school age and even beyond. You have touched what is no one, no, all those things, but transportation.
Oh,
So it's underscore EJ 1026 says, no, no, all things but transportation. You cannot get in my car.
I'm done.
Listen, but when you get in the car, you take them, you drop them off at their house, and it be 7 cars in the yard.
Ooh, listen. And no, none of them 7 cars could leave. But then it becomes a habitual thing. Once you do it once, they really feel like you're supposed to keep doing it. No, ma'am.
Listen, but you do become everything.
You do.
You become the storehouse. You become everything. You got to have all of the supplies. You need
Are
floss, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, powder,
you are
lotion, baby wipes,
for
sanitary napkins,
I'm done.
scrunchies, hairspray,
Sometimes
hair dye.
I will I will say this. Sometimes you become their structure. Your
Yes,
Oh, that was good. I like that. Sometimes
your
that's a
your
word. That's a
that's,
word.
that's it.
is the one place they have structure, and therefore that's why there's so much respect there. Because sometimes in school is the only time they get structure. Real talk.
Mhm.
And
Did
then
y'all see what it's EJ 1026 said?
I will
I
Yes.
will wait 3 hours for your ride or even get you an Uber.
I quit.
But we know they can't get in your car, Coach E.
We know. We see. I can't. But yeah.
They can't even ride on the hood, like in the parade. They sit on the car and cross their legs. You can't put them on the hood.
I think the most they can do is sit in the car while they wait for their ride.
I
And
don't
I
even
think and he
that.
might even put them, and he might even make them sit outside the
I,
car.
I ain't never seen nobody sit in the car. He's staying right there where they at. I don't even see him walk towards his car till everybody gone. I don't know.
Listen, I when I used to coach, I couldn't wait. I just had to take them home because I just couldn't wait.
I understand.
Because I'm sure you coaches, if you coaches are watching, I'm sure you all have had girls that you have come through your entire program 3-4 years and have not seen one parent?
Not one.
Haven't seen not one
I
parent.
want to know. Now I'm curious. What's the longest you had to wait on a parent
Yeah.
to pick up a child?
Oh.
That is a poll question. Coaches chime in.
That's what the cake for tonight.
NCAA football. NCAA 2025. 25? Yes,
Oh,
25.
listen.
Ooh.
Somebody LCW_cheerleader says, well, let's back up. Coach E said maybe about 1 hour. Delicia, hey D, said yes, and I hate that for them. LCW_cheerleader says, then when you take them home, it's 3 working cars in the yard.
I said that. It's 7 cars in the yard.
I don't
7.
I really don't.
And out of the 7, 5 on work. 5. Matter of fact, when you pull up, somebody pulling out.
Yep.
And couldn't pick them
Yep.
up.
How long have you all waited for your cheerleaders to be picked up, coaches? How long what's the longest you've had to wait?
What was it? 2 hours for us?
Damn near.
It was 2 hours for us. Mm-hmm. I think that's the longest.
I don't think I ever really paid attention to the time because the very short amount of time that I coached, my child was actually playing as well. And I would stay behind for the football foolishness, the firecrackers and foolishness, the mischief and mayhem, all of the shenanigans with football. So I never really paid attention to how long, but I think I'm rocking 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about 2, probably 2, maybe close to 2.5 hours, but we waited. What's the longest y'all had to wait, coaches? Lonnie Hound said, I tell my team if I have to wait more than 30 minutes, you get punished the next day. So they can put that pressure on their parents. So about 30 minutes. LCW cheerleader says about an hour, but when you scream DCF, a family member get there quicker than the parent.
Mm-hmm.
Coach E says after that hour, I'm the parent check going off.
I got to a point to where we just started by the time, just so they'll be outside waiting for them.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people do that. Like if you're on before the game is even over with, you like, hey, go call your parents.
Mm-hmm. Even
go call your rides.
A game at the end of the 4th quarter, you calling parents and telling them meet you at the school.
Now, come on. Now, Coach E, I'm going to push back on you because you will say practice over with at 6 o'clock and 7:30, the girls walking out.
They ain't no different than football practice.
That's so you could be there to pick them up when practice is over.
An hour and a half later.
Yep. He said he had to wait an hour.
Football practice, they said they'll be ending by 6:30. So literally speaking, I would sit to work.
And they're still in there doing a whole they're going full throttle on the routine.
Listen, I tell all football parents, football coaches don't know how to tell time.
They
don't.
He said, thank you, Isha.
They don't.
I already knew what it was. I knew what it was. I already established what it was. But football coaches do not know how to tell time on the part level, on the high school level, at no level. They have no idea how to tell time. Remember we talked about the NCAA and compliance?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're there, because even college coaches don't know how to tell time. So compliance has to tell them, hey, it's time to stop, like right now. Or they have buzzers with time on it. Football coaches don't know how to tell time. So if you're a parent of a football player, if they say 7:30, that means it's probably 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
The ending time, not starting, ending. Starting is always on time. Ending is never on time. But still be there because things might happen. They might just get lucky and get out of practice on time that day.
I ain't never had that. Mm-hmm. Never have I ever had that.
I just practice. I just make sure my phone charged up and I have my game on my phone.
I
make phone calls because at that point, I think the longest we had, the girls supposed to leave at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Them girls probably weren't walking out until about 8 o'clock.
Listen, LCW cheerleaders. That's Liberty City Warriors.
Okay.
Uh, she said they had gym today, and it ended at 5. They was making calls at 4:30,
And I
as you
know people that
should,
I
I'm
because
know
it's
people that do
Sunday
4
and it's your
o'clock.
day off.
Yeah.
it's straight
Huh.
crazy. Literally speaking. And it don't be one more time. It don't. They always say let's do this one more time. No,
He talking about one more time turns into 5.
it does.
It
So the
does.
last time is never the last time. And I
Yeah.
get it.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to find it. There is somebody on Instagram that has made a reel about the one more time not being one more time.
Mm.
Never one more time. Never. I don't think in any sport it's ever one more time.
Yeah, it's not.
Mm. Mm.
No. I was finna lie. Track one more time is one more time. Track, we have to stick to street numbers, or we'll overwork. That's the only sport though.
And
One
cross
more time.
they won.
One more
Huh?
time.
They won in the same.
Yeah, they kind of one in the same.
One more time. For the get down. One more time. One more time. Get on the ground.
Oh yes, you be extra late. You done held up my life. You done kept me from my family and friends. You done kept me from my ratchet activities. You done kept me from my rest and my food. Everybody that knows me knows how I am about my food. And you don't even say I'm sorry or thank you.
Mm, 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 mm,
Like none of the above.
mm.
Not even a my bad.
Think that okay, so I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Do you think that coaches have gotten ahead of the game as far as telling parents a specific time to avoid parents picking up late? And the reason why I say that is because there have been times where parents have no concept of time and they feel as though you're supposed to sit there with their child until they're ready to get there, as if you don't have a life of your own. Just asking.
Ernest, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the parents that pick up their kids late. The sorries and the my bad.
Yeah.
The parents that pick up the kids late don't give no apology, no thank you, no nothing.
No explanation, no nothing. Saying
No, and I'm gonna add to this. You be done transported their child for 20 to 25 minutes and they don't even give you $5 worth of gas.
Yeah,
ooh, child.
a word.
Don't ooh, honey.
Don't give you no gas money at all, and forever asking you to bring their child home.
They don't even give you a gift card for your birthday.
It's usually the ones who don't be paying their packages.
Ooh.
That's a word.
I know he gonna say something.
That's Cheer-tiquette right there, not paying your stuff on time. That's gonna trickle over
He
into
talking
life.
about,
You ain't gonna pay your bills on time, your lights and your phone gonna be off.
see, that's why they don't get in my car. Gas is high. Ooh, when it's close to competition time, why do parents think we need a rest day and we can't go 7 days? Now that's a topic.
That is a topic because
Them parents trying to
listen, we trying to make your kids great, so we need all the days of the week.
but you
All days.
cutting into my me time and messing up my schedule.
I'm messing up my schedule to make your child win.
You supposed to do that. You a coach. That's what you signed up for. But I didn't sign up to be there 7
It's
days.
the babysitter club anyway. Drop off and go home. Thank you.
Girl, they ain't going home. They going to brunch.
You right.
Hey.
And then you telling me I got to leave brunch at a certain time because you want to end when I could have just left that child at home and had no end time.
Listen, Ernest, I can agree with not going 7 days. I do. However, how many of them 3 and 4 days did you get a full team?
Oh.
Which is why I gotta add days, because I gotta find a day where everybody gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean, Optimus is the one I've seen go 7 days. Honestly,
Yes, 7 days for Optimus
yeah.
because on Monday Tutu can't be there because she also danced, and on Wednesday,
Ooh, that's another topic.
Shari can't be there because I get off work at 5:30 and I won't be there till 6:30. Girl, bring her to practice anyway. You just find an excuse not to bring her to practice.
That ain't nothing but warm up time. She can warm up in the car, tell her to throw a leg across the back seat and stretch. I'm just trying to understand. It ain't like you start directly at 6 o'clock. You usually do warm up. She could warm up wherever she at and come straight
Mhm.
to start practicing.
And her warm up lap can be running from that car into this line.
In that line, plain and simple. Need to stretch, throw that leg up on the headrest and start stretching.
Period.
Yes, and whether it seemed like in South Florida, well, I'm just getting way too comfortable. It seemed like in South Florida, the weather started getting bad around 5 o'clock. So you don't know if you're gonna ever have practice.
Yes, it's been a whole lot of rain delays,
And
or you
Florida,
got to
And
cancel.
cancellations, and some of these parts flood horribly. They don't have nowhere on the inside for you to practice. Even if they do, they ain't gonna let you.
mm-mm. Florida weather is very bipolar. It does what it wants to do. You got some people that'll still make you practice whether the field got wet or not.
Hmm.
Yeah. We ain't gonna throw no stunts, but we finna get these lines right.
That part. We gonna get these formations together all day. Too many kids that want the spot your kid didn't really want it if they missing practice. That's true. But can you really hold the kid responsible
I
for
was
another?
just gonna say the kid might have really wanted it, but the mama was stupid or the daddy was stupid.
Cost of high school cheer packages a topic. It wasn't discussed in a previous episode, but we could definitely bring that up because baby, that is rent.
But I think the cost of high school cheer packages has to do with inflation.
But a lot of that stuff is personalized though. It's not.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of the stuff that is personalized. And if you think about it, like I don't know how other schools are doing it, but I know at my daughter's school when she was there that they kept the uniforms, so they were able to recycle the uniforms. You know what I'm saying? Year after year, which definitely brought down the cost. Only thing they probably got every year was like a new short set, bows, socks, shoes, and stuff like that, which is personalized. Nice gear, but oh Jesus.
Personalization costs.
Well, here go my thing. Going back to Cheer-tiquette, we circling back.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches need to make it mandatory that they buy shoes every year. I really hate dirty shoes.
You really
Yeah.
do.
They do. Well, I know at that school, that Dilla, they do. Every year they have new shoes. Every year, I
Like,
haven't seen them. I'm looking at the when I was looking through my closet. She has all her shoes from seventh grade up until.
yeah, like you
But some,
don't get to opt out of shoes. You got to buy new shoes. You could practice in the ones from last year.
I already said the kids love dirty shoes.
I was trying to say that it's a thing now. They say it's bad luck to wash
That,
your shoes.
baby, you need
I
to find
know some of
There's
them
some good
who.
little draws. The things we can't see, but these shoes getting washed. You are. I can't stand a dirty shoe. I can't stand a dirty shoe.
We know. You hate dirty shoes just as much as you hate stomach shape.
They might be equal.
Mm-hmm.
They might be
Oh,
equal.
I already know.
I
Tara,
mean, I like a good wear and tear in the shoe, and that lets me know that
there's a
you
different type of wear and tear, ma'am. If
There
your
is wear and tear, and there is dirty.
if I can't tell you
Those are different things.
problem,
Like I remember, so this girl I cheered with. She actually went to Ely, but I cheered with her at Lakes, and her name is Stankeela Mathis.
oh, I love her.
Stankeela's shoes always was pearly white. We used to ask Stankeela every week, "What did you do to get your shoes clean?"
what's
Because we wanted Stankeela. She does hair.
I just saw her post on Facebook like a week ago.
Yeah, I think she's doing a promo where she wants to do hair for homecoming or something like that. I don't know, but she always giving back. She does
Oh,
always give back in the form of doing hair to the kids. So
absolutely.
if anybody wants to do anything like that, I think that's a person to reach out to. Stankila Mathis. It's spelled exactly how it sounds on Facebook. I don't know if she have any other platforms. But anyway, yeah, her shoes always used to be pearly white. Pearly white.
So what was her method?
She would scrub them first with water and baking soda, and
Okay.
then wash them regular in the washing machine and let
So
them sit
water
out.
and baking soda. Sound like we got to cook something else.
Listen,
Lord, that's crazy.
but she had a thing. She had a thing that we tried it, but nobody's shoes was getting as white as hers.
Because
So,
she probably, when she got home from a game, she would instantly clean her shoes and not wait and let it sit.
oh, Lonnie, them laces, them laces.
It's core. It was core glaze. The school was the core glaze.
Coral lace for what?
She went to regionals.
Oh, oh, she said Coral Park
Core
High.
part. Yeah. Core
Yeah,
glaze.
that was Coral Glaze. Yeah, yeah. Some of
Mm.
them definitely were black, biggie, black. This is what I want y'all to do for me. Yes.
Mm. And mesh is hard. It's mesh is really hard to clean though once it gets dirty.
I was trying to look at the college team shoes. When I be at the games to see what shoes they're wearing. But I've noticed some of the college like sideline cheer teams, they wear like regular sneakers
Yeah,
sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Not your comp teams, but sideline teams there, I've seen them in regular sneakers. And when I say they be making it happen, they be making it happen. Um, but yeah, it was kind of weird when I noticed it.
probably because they don't stunt as much. So there's
No, on that sideline, they stunt a lot.
with boys,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
for boys, you really don't care. It ain't gonna matter what shoe you got on.
No, it'd be the boys and the girls
You
sometimes.
definitely need a good grip, a shoe with a good grip, especially as
Yeah.
a base too, because you're gonna be slipping and sliding somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Boys just be throwing them girls up
Yep.
all day. Mm.
Because most like there are a lot of schools that are sponsored by Nike. So when you're talking about sponsorships in schools, you got Nike, you got Under Armour, you got Adidas. Um,
Does Under Armour have cheer shoes?
wait, hold on. I'm trying to think of the sponsors. Nike, Under Armour, Adidas. You got some Russell schools. You got Jordan. Even though Jordan is Nike, but I digress. But yeah,
Varsity
yes.
has cheer shoes.
But I
What
wonder
And
how they
Infinity
work
has shoes
those.
too.
Yeah,
Infinity?
but I
Infinity.
wonder how they work those when the schools are sponsored by particular brands because I don't know that I don't think Under Armour has cheer shoes. I know Nike does and they suck. I don't think Adidas has cheer shoes, but they have on their Adidas uniform and then they have on some shoes. So
A6.
A6 don't sponsor no football teams.
I know, but I'm cheer shoes. But I haven't seen A6 cheer shoes in a minute.
What happened to Caper? What happened to Caper?
Man, you right.
People stop liking them detachable
The little
colors.
pegs. The
Right.
little pegs.
You had
Baby.
that.
Baby.
That
Di-
That was
Caper
my
used to
favorite
hate to see
shoe.
Dilla coming.
That was my favorite shoe though.
The Capers, baby, they were lightweight and they did a job.
put in.
Oh, and then we got fancy one year. We had the little slides. We got the sliders, the little things, the disc that you had to slide in with the colors, baby.
You couldn't tell us nothing.
Capers, the hate to see Dilla coming.
No, but as far as a cheer shoe, that was my favorite shoe.
Oh, maybe we should do a episode about cheer shoes.
I
What's a
don't
good?
think we could do a whole episode, but we definitely need to talk
I mean,
about
it's gonna be a topic.
Cheer gear.
cheer gear.
Mhm.
That has a ring to it. Cheer gear.
Absolutely.
And that could be added to the conversation about the price.
Absolutely. Because that's rent.
Because what do you really need?
Because and the thing too is when you think about a team, you think about uniformity. Okay, that means I used to love when I was cheering JV when varsity came to the game. I used to love how all of them had their jackets and their cheer bags, and they was all to one side. It was something about when varsity came in the game, baby. When I was on JV, and they all was
With them slouch socks.
don't come for our slouch socks now. Don't do that.
We wore slouch socks too.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
and Barry Jackson made you buy 2 pair.
Right, because your slouch socks had to be high and thick.
And
Yeah.
thick.
And
Cut them.
thick.
So
Cut,
then you
cut
had to
one
go
pair.
for half a size in your shoe to be able to fit 2 pairs of socks on. And me with the big foot that I have, I already had to get an 11 because I wore a size 9.5 and cheer shoes run retarded. So I had to buy an 11 in a cheer shoe. And then because I had to put on 2 pairs of socks,
You
I
had to
needed to
get
get
12.
an 11.5.
We used
And
to cut our sock. We used to cut the foot of the sock off and use the slouch part of it, and that's how we got our thickness of our slouch socks. We didn't put on 2 pair of socks. That's unheard of.
Yeah, don't
That sounds like
And-
that was uncomfortable.
it was uncomfortable. And then when you get to a certain size, they don't have half sizes no more.
whole side. Like them A6 only had holes.
Well, how about having a size 12
Her down there.
and
That's what I ended up in.
Her down
and you gotta,
Because they ain't
you
have
gotta
the 11 and a
pray.
half.
You gotta pray that the shoe come in a
Look, I'm
size 12.
point directly. Trying to point where she at. Her down there.
Yeah.
I
How
didn't
about
have
that?
those.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So we've been on this for a whole hour and 22 minutes. We don't talk about everything about Cheer-tiquette and all, and then some.
Mhm.
All right. 13U_hit squad just joined us. Hey, Ruben. You don't miss the conversation. And you need to let us know when you are free.
Inbox us because we still trying to interview you, sir.
We're still trying to get you on Cheer Chatter podcast, Ruben. So hit our inbox up with some available dates on Sundays that you are available so we can chat.
It sounds like we just gonna have to send him the date and
Because I ain't finna be waiting on him. We gonna give
Okay.
him.
So then let's just send him some dates.
Absolutely.
All right, Ruben, we're gonna invade your inbox.
All up and through it.
All right, ladies. So we're gonna go ahead and close this out.
Next Sunday.
said- I'm game for next Sunday.
I'm in.
All right, Ruben, next Sunday. You free?
Send us a picture, Ruben, so I can put you on the flyer. Thanks.
All right, ladies, we are going to close this episode out. Do y'all want to leave with any parting words to our audience?
Don't have kids, especially if they boys, because they play NCAA 25. When you told them that you're recording and they yell and scream the whole time.
And do. I don't really have any parting words. I just say I love the coaches and continue to stand on business and keep cheer with the correct Cheer-tiquette as possible. Those are my words.
And as for me, in the famous words of Uncle Luther Campbell, don't stop, get it, get it.
I'm done.
I was thinking of something else, but I'm glad you
I was
stopped.
saying that because when you said Uncle Luke, my mind went somewhere else.
And we still have our push for 1K and beyond. In our quest to 1K followers, we want to select a follower to win an exclusive Cheer Chatter Incorporated merch and have your team be featured on our IG page and on our podcast. But first, you must follow at Cheer__chatter on Instagram. Subscribe to our Cheer Chatter podcast YouTube channel. Tag 2 of your teammates and repost this flyer. All right. So we still need to push for our 1,000 followers. So please, 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 let's go ahead and get these followers up. Okay. That's all we're asking for. And with that being said, cheerfully
I
yours.
just want to say doodle brown because that's what them shoes be looking doodle brown.
Oh.
Doodle brown.
I'm so done with her. She is terrible.
Y'all have a good night. Cheerfully yours.
Doodle brown.
I hate her.
Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention? 3, 2, let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're reaching for the top